I'm curious, this Tom Brady situation. I've always said I think he finds a way to get back to New England. I don't know why I think that. He's going to test free agency, which I think is great. Why not? He's never really been able to do that. You get to see what you're like in the open market, how other teams may value you. I still think he could go out there, take a few visits, see what's out there, and come back to New England. We know the owner wants him there. So my whole question is, what is it like between he and Belichick? Like, why does it seem so difficult for Tom Brady to get re-signed in New England? Do you know?
No, I mean, I'm sure Connor has some more thoughts on this, but I just, when I see something like this, this didn't sway me either way. Like, I figured this would come out. If anything, this is just another bargaining chip for him. You know, reports get leaked to how much he's getting offered elsewhere. Like, this is just another piece of ammunition for him in the future.
Yeah, his agent, I think Don Yee is his name. I don't know if it's Don or not, his first name. Is a genius for putting some of this. He should be putting some of this stuff out there. I mean, every agent, front office person, they have relationships with media members, and a lot of people negotiate through the media. Happens all the time. Mm-hmm. Teams do it, players do it, agents do it. They should do it. I think it works a lot of times. So for them to sit out there and leak or report that Tom Brady could be going to the Las Vegas Raiders, that's amazing. Why not? Like, it seems, hey, you know, like we got a video of Tom Brady talking to the Raiders owner at the UFC fights and everything. Like, oh, okay, feels a bit staged, and I think you should do it. It's right, but. Also, you talk about the Chargers now. That job is open.
Right.
You need to bring people into the stadium. You want people to watch you play. Of course, who's going to do that better than Tom Brady? So it makes sense. But, man, I feel like unless there's some, like, rift between Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and the rest of that coaching staff that they can't get over, I see Tom Brady going back to New England.
Well, and I get that part of it was like the money part, how he's always taking a team-friendly deal. He wants to be compensated. But at the end of the day, doesn't he want weapons? Like, he wants that money going elsewhere so that they're in a prime position to win another Super Bowl. Like, he doesn't need the money. Granted, it's nice to have that and to, like, finally, you know, get compensated for what you feel you've earned. But I don't think he really cares about that.
No. I mean, everyone cares about money. I mean, there's a reason a guy like Warren Buffett is still working.
Yeah, right. People
say, oh, how much money do you need? You couldn't dare spend all that money. Well, give me an internet connection. I can spend it in about 3 hours. I can spend $200 million. I'm buying yachts. I'm buying houses everywhere. You can get it. You can go through that pretty quick. And we know his wife makes probably more money than him.
Right.
So it's not really about that, but obviously he wants to get paid what he's worth. He's taken a hometown discount for a long, long time. And so maybe he's like, you know what, I'm going to stay. This is my time to stand up and let me show what leverage I have, what power I have, that I'm Tom Brady. Like, you can't do this anymore.
That hometown discount, though, you got to think that that's kind of been sort of the formula that's gotten him all these Super Bowls. So a place like the Raiders, even though it kind of makes sense, does he want to go and battle Mahomes for, you know, a division championship? That might even be harder to get to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially since McDaniels didn't get the Cleveland job and he's back in New England. I think that's a big part of it, unless he and McDaniels have some kind of falling out that we don't know about behind the scenes, which you haven't heard anything like that kind of leak out. Normally it does leak out a little bit if they have some issues behind the scenes. But maybe he's thinking, hey, I've been taking hometown discounts, and then all of a sudden this year I feel like I didn't have the weapons I needed to win. Like, we need to upgrade our offensive line. We need to figure out a tight end situation now that Gronk is gone. Maybe add some weapons on the outside for me to get the ball to. They got plenty of running backs, I think, that you can throw to and hand off. But I feel like he's just fed up. Like, hey, I've been taking hometown discounts for so long, and I still felt like we lacked the talent in certain situations, certain positions for me to take us to the Super Bowl. I tried. I got us far enough, and I just couldn't make it happen this year. So maybe he's a little fed up with that. But ultimately, I see him finding a way to get back to New England.
Well, hello there. Utilize the promo code PAYTHEBILLS and get $20 off your first order from SeatGeek. Now, back to the magic.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, I mean, I think a big part of what's driving him, too, is just the outside noise of that he wouldn't have been able to do all this without Belichick. And so, I mean, if it does end up coming to that, I mean, like, even Michael Irvin the other day was saying that he had a high-ranking source inside the Cowboys front office who said they're going to heavily pursue Brady, and it sounds like that was BS. But
that guy's a liar. That guy's a liar. Don't trust him.
Well, that comes a day or two before the Cowboys have come out and said they're going to most likely get a deal done before March 10th with Dak Prescott. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So, I mean, you should feel pretty good about that. You would think if you're the front office for Dallas that takes a little leverage away from you and gives Dak Prescott a little bit more leverage, but maybe they're closer than we think in hashing out a new deal.
Yeah, well, it said that, it was reported that McCarthy's all in on him, Stephen Jones is all in on him, Jerry Jones is all in on him. So if everyone's all in on him, then I mean, what's the holdup at this point?
If, let's say, everybody's all in on him, what if Mike McCarthy wakes up, checks his phone, and it's a text from Tom Brady, says, "Hey, Coach, what's up? Always been a big fan. Love Dallas. Love to be under center running your offense." What do you think? What do you think, Connor?
See you later, Dak. I mean, if you get a text from Brady, you're not turning him down. Obviously, I don't want to see him leave, but you got to think, too, he might have a better chance making a Super Bowl in the NFC than he does in the AFC.
That's a good point you bring up. I really wonder what teams Tom Brady is looking at. That's another question. And, okay, what if Drew Brees decides to retire? That's out there, that it's not out of the realm of possibility that Drew Brees retires. I don't think he retires. He seems like a guy that absolutely loves playing football and wants to find a way to get another Super Bowl ring. If he retires, they have to make a decision with Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill in New Orleans, whether they think Taysom Hill is their next franchise quarterback, whether they think Teddy Bridgewater is, or they think neither of those guys are our next guy. If Tom Brady shows interest in going somewhere, the team's going to have to entertain it and find a way. How can we work this out with our salary cap? How can we pay him enough, give him maybe a 2 or 3 year deal for $30-40 million a year? Is that what it's going to take?
I don't know. New Orleans would be interesting. It seems like Sean Payton would be a guy that Brady would really like to play with. And the amount of weapons they have, if he's not going to take a hometown discount in New England, I could see him taking less money to go play somewhere like New Orleans.
And they have a hell of an offensive line, too. I mean, that would be a perfect fit for Brady. I mean, although New England is the most perfect fit, let's not get it twisted here, the Saints would be pretty good.
So, Connor, you're a big Patriots fan, right?
Yeah, you could say that. I dabble in the Patriots fandom.
So will you write off Tom Brady for life if he leaves New England?
Absolutely not. I mean, he's made my childhood. He made my life what it is today.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
Oh, my goodness.
So I've only experienced championships my entire life, and that all has to do with Brady. I won't write him off, but it'll definitely be a bummer. I mean, I won't switch fandoms by any chance, but I mean, it'll hurt a lot to see Brady in a different jersey.
The narrative that Bill Belichick wants to prove that he can win without Tom Brady and that Tom Brady wants to prove he can win without Bill Belichick, do you think that's a real thing?
I do, just because you think about how petty the top guys are. Like when people were starting to count Brady out a couple years ago, he said, "I'm the baddest mother in the NFL in the world." You got to think that he does want to prove that it's him, not Bill. And Bill probably also wants to say, "Hey, I'm the greatest coach. It had more to do with me than it did with Brady."
See, if you're Bill Belichick, you're going to be considered the greatest coach of all time, no matter what. Who cares? If Tom Brady gives you the best chance to win another Super Bowl or two, keep Tom Brady around. If you have some kind of weird petty differences, or I just can't imagine there's anything that going on behind the scenes that would keep him from coming back. It's got to be like a respect and a money thing. Like, hey man, like, listen, I want to be here. If Tom's got to say, like, I want to be here. I want McDaniels being my play caller. I like what we have going. I don't want to start over with a new offense somewhere else, even though wherever he goes, they're going to cater it to Tom Brady. It's going to be Tom Brady's offense most likely. But I just can't imagine there's something behind the scenes going on to where Brady like really wants out if they offer him what he feels he deserves.
Do you put any stock into the fact that they just moved, they're moving out of the house?
No.
How
many times has Tom Brady bought and sold like $50 million houses? It seems like this happens every 2 years.
It's what rich people do. I mean, he gets a new phone every 3 months. Give him a break.